Welcome, I'm from XIAOMI Redmi Note 8T, and today I'll show you a couple of tweaks and tricks that you can do on this device. So we're gonna begin probably with the most common one, which is the split screen. And this will allow you to run two different apps at the same time. Now the best use for it, in my opinion, is running something like YouTube at the top and any kind of other app. So let's start by opening up YouTube, going to Recent. As you can see, there is the YouTube split screen. Hold it, drag it over, and there we go, there is the YouTube on top. Now you can tap on home, and this will actually keep playing whatever it's in YouTube, and you can do whatever else you want right here. You could launch your browser and do whatever you want. Now let me quickly see if I can connect to network. Let me quickly connect so you can get a better experience about this. Now, I'm connected to network, so there might be a problem with Wi-Fi. Actually, it shouldn't be though. But normally, assuming you have a network, you can play video. I can shrink it, as you can see, and it will literally take the entire space right here. And then you can do other stuff, and this will not pause the video. Also, if you press on home button, it will close the bottom up, but keep the top one open, as I can actually showcase now. Let's open something up. So as you can see, there's the video, and I could do other stuff, and this will not pause the video even if I go home. As you can see, it's completely invisible, but the video will be still playing. And if I open something else, you can see that it still continues to play. So nothing pauses the video. Now, if you, for instance, go home and exit this, or move it to full screen and close it, then that will pause it. But assuming it is constantly on the top and you haven't locked the device, it will continue playing whatever you're listening to. So you don't need to actually pay YouTube for the premium. So moving on to the next one, it's just gonna be a simple hiding notch option. So if you're not a fan of this teardrop notch right here, you can simply hide it. Now personally, I don't mind the notches, but I know some people will. So to get rid of it, let's go to the display section, and then we're looking for notch and status bar, hide notch. As you can see, you have a couple different options. So this is the one that is selected by default. Then you have the one that basically inverts the colors, makes it look a little bit more chunky, I would say. And then you have the one that basically moves it off, or should move off below, but for some reason does not. So it looks like something is bugged out with this one. And as you can see, it should look like this. So basically it should make the notch invisible like this one, but all the notifications should be lower. For some reason doesn't do it. Oh, something is happening. There we go. That took a little bit. So now it's working. Not sure what happened. So yeah, now I'm gonna go back to the normal one because I don't really mind it. And moving on to the next one, it's gonna be the gesture navigation. Now as you can see right now, we've been using the typical buttons on the bottom. So to change it to something a little bit more modern, we can go into additional settings. And from here, we're looking for full screen display. And there we go, full screen gestures. Now we can go through a learning process if you haven't never used it before. So I'm gonna kind of go over it so you can see. But the gist of it: swipe up to go home, swipe up and hold to go to recent, and then swipe from the sides to go back. And this works from either side. So now honestly, in my opinion, this is a way more pleasant experience rather than the physical buttons, considering overall it makes the device look a little bit cleaner, but I personally really like the back. So the ability to swipe from either side at any kind of position almost is really nice. It feels, I would say, natural. Not sure if that's the correct way to describe it, but when you're holding the device, it does kind of like your thumb has no problem with swiping it while trying to fiddle with the back buttons just right at the bottom. It's not the greatest experience. So moving on to the next option, that's going to be the deep cleaning. Now this is for people that want to basically get as much resources out of their phone as possible. Probably also a good option for if you're trying to game and want to basically clean everything. So in the normal circumstances, when you do click right here, it will just clear out all the apps that are open right now. But you also have the deep clean option, which will, along with closing the apps, give you a little bit more cleaning options. So you have also things like apps that are running in the background, along with just general improvements, like for instance photos that are duplicated, apps that have left some trash after themselves, and you can basically manage all of that from here if you wanted to. As you can see, you can view the photos, but as you can see, it sometimes kind of misses the mark. This is a scrollable screenshot, which is completely even different size, but because it looks very similar, the device doesn't really distinguish the difference between those two. So yeah, it's a fairly nice option here. And then moving on to the last one, it's the dark mode. So let's see if there is a toggle for it. Looks like, oh, there it is. So as you can see, there is the toggle, but you can also find it in the settings if you wanted to. And what it does is basically make the device dark. Now I'm gonna actually enable it. So you can see it right now changed everything here into this dark mode, and also that includes settings along with majority of the other apps. But you can find this option also under the display, like I said. So there we go. And also the benefit right here is you can set it up as schedule, so you are not running constantly in dark mode. And on schedule, for instance, as you can see, by default it will turn on at 7 p.m. and turn off at 7 a.m. So during night it will be in dark mode, during the day it will be in a light mode, making it a little bit better or more easy to read during the day if you're like outside. And let me actually turn it back on, and you can see, for instance, other apps. Well, this one looks like it's not supported. It's kind of weird. Yep, it looks like dialer is not supported. That's kind of weird. Not sure if something bugged out, because as you can see, it is dark and then it changes to light. Unless, let me quickly check it. Not sure what's happening. Normally it should be in dark mode, kind of like for instance the photos right here, but something is bugging out in this case, which maybe if I update the device or something it will fix it. Because as you see, when you open it up, it is in dark mode obviously, but then from like things like the dialer or messages, it switches back to light mode. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but apart from that, as you can see, it does the job, for instance through here, settings, pages. So it makes it a little bit more pleasant to use during the night time. But this will conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I wanted to share, and if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.